Today I'll be doing some more work on my street Indy car project, starting with the suspension. So on today's agenda is making longer upper and lower control arms for the front end. I start out by looking at the control arms that we'll be lengthening. So this is the upper one, they're same on both the right and the left side. And here is the lower one, it's quite a bit bigger. And I can see on the lower one, it has a pressed in ball joint right here. So we're gonna have to replicate this in making a new one. And the opposite goes for the uppers. Now this accepts the actual bolt and it comes down this way from the spindles. The other problem we have with these upper control arms here are these bolt through style control arms, so we're going to have to pull those out and get ready for some hind joints. Now to recreate this all in steel, we're going to have to come up with some round stock to make this taper fitting, as well as some tubing that has a similar inner diameter, which we'll just have to lathe out. All right, now with that broken down, we're going to have to come up with some bushings to make that a through bolt style. All right, so here's what I came up with, just a piece of pipe with some 1/2-inch spacers on either end welded to it. And that is gonna be the slug that fits through here to give me my center line that goes all the way through. However, to get this little bit of wobble that it has out, we're just gonna wrap it with some electrical tape and that'll snug fit it. Okay, so there solves that problem. I have a through bolt on either end of this. Now we need to come up with something to make this tapered hole. So what I found is this piece of 2-inch round stock. I'm gonna have to bring this to the machine shop. They're going to drill the center on it and they're gonna add the taper that matches this one. Okay, now looking at the lower control arm, you can see where I pressed fit out that ball joint fitting, and it left me with this size of a spacing. So I again come up with a similar material. It gives me the same basic shape and size that I need to fit in here. So I'm gonna bring this to machine shop as well. And we'll have this brought out to that same inner diameter. All right, so I brought all my parts and material at the Sackett machine shop in Orlando, and overnight they came back with the parts already machined up for me. So here's having a closer look at this round tube, and here is the machine version, which you can see will press fit this ball joint in here. And moving on to the taper fitting in the upper control arms. So we started out with this stock piece of flat round stock, and they machined me 3 of these, just so I have an extra one now, which has the perfect taper for the upper control arm ball joints that fits it just like it is. All right, so last off part-wise, for the upper and lower control arms where it mounts to the chassis, I'll be using these 1/2-inch hind joints. Now these are perfect for this application because it gives you adjustability in and out, so I can get the better alignment on this thing later. Also, where it bolts to the chassis, it comes with these 1/2-inch cone spacers, which will give me the proper alignment as well in between the tabs. Now that I have everything laid out and part-wise in front of me, it's time to come out with a jig for just the upper control arms. This is my relatively simple jig that I made to replicate these control arms and just extending them. So this has one through bolt that keeps everything aligned, as well as it's going to give me a perfect measurement and angle for this end piece. Now I'll be able to measure this, and I need to come out 4.5 inches, which is where we're going to add this new bung that I made or had made. At which point we're going to come up with our new measurements to connect where these should be. Now I've also extended these on either side of my frame, so I'm going to have to take that measurement and determine where this is going to come in and meet that bung. All right, so I've triangulated my measurements. So I have my forward mount, my extended rear mount, as well as the mount that we brought out for the ball joint. Now I'm completely done with this old control arm. I can take it off of there and replace it with these hind joints, and line them up with these marks that I've made on top. And these heim joints work with this 1-inch DOM tube with a 0.65 wall thickness, so these will slide right in there. I will have to bring this over to the tube bender to put just a bend in here to keep these perpendicular off the center of the frame, and then the bend will come to match the ball joint. All right, here's that bend out of the machine. We're gonna just plug this into the heim joint. Line it up with our actual bung fitting, and that fits really well. Now we can turn our attention to bending the trailing side. So making the trailing arm is gonna be a little bit more difficult. So if I bring that same bend over here and just kind of play out where it would make and meet this bung, when I come back over here with the original upper control arm, you can see that there's a severe impact right in here where this tire is going to come in and sweep and hit this. So to work around that, I'm going to have to flip this, and we're going to weld to the inside of that bung through another piece, and then we'll connect it that way. Here's another look at the fitment. The front arm is completely set up the way it needs to be. Now here's my trailing part of the arm, and that lines up perfectly here, as well as my bung is matched up inside them with my jig. Now that we got this far, I can tack weld this in place. Okay, here's all the pieces tack welded together. It's operating like it should. And here's just a quick overlay of what the old control arm used to look like over top of it. And what I was going for is pretty much the same clearance profile right in here. So now that this one's done, I can take this out of the jig and we'll set it up and make the opposite upper control arm. Okay, now I have my left-hand side upper control arm jigged up. You can see the original intersection mark. This will be my extended 4.5 inches marks. And right here we have the 18.5 on center addition that's going to make it go that way. I'm going to switch this thing out now that I've made my marks and put the heim joints on. Alright, so I've replaced the old control arm that was on the jig and put it in the heim joints. I've made my first bend here. I can add my bung to the equation. Add my rear trailing arm. Now that I have this much together, I can tack weld it up. Left hand upper control arm is just tack welded together. Now I can remove it from this jig and start over a new jig for the lower control arms. So I had to make a completely different jig for the lower control arms. Those kind of sit at that angle, but the actual ball joint itself sits at an angle. So this is it all jigged up, and I have my center point marked for where the ball joint will go. Again, I carried that center point out to 5 inches or 5.5 inches to make my 11-inch narrowing that I did. Now that is centered in there. So now I will replace that control arm with the heim joints, and then we'll build the tube members to connect from the heims to the new bung. And just like before, I measured my center points of the front mounting location, and then there's the rear mounting location, and I had to add the addition, so that's like 22 inches on center, and that's where that second or that rear heim is going to sit. Alright, I got my front end, just a small bend put in there, and it comes back to the bung, and it fits just up like that. And now the back lead, to get proper clearance, I just sleeve the end of it, and it's going to come back here. I'm going to have to put a bend in it right about midway, and then we'll have to come back and meet the actual bung. Alright, so I have my connection there at the trailing portion. Have it come up, I put one bend, and it comes in, and it meets the bung. So now I can tack weld right here, and we should be able to get this off the jig, and we'll flip it and do the other side. just cut off these tack welds that were holding this bung in place. You see the operation. So now in the future, we're going to come back and we're going to gusset this in, give it a full weld around this back portion, as well as triangulate it with a crossbar, but I'm going to wait and figure out where the suspension is going to lay before we make that. Now that this much is done, this control arm can come out of this jig. We're going to flip this jig around, and we're going to have to build off the mounting points on either side of this side for the opposite control arm. Okay, I got my jig flipped around. This is the right lower control arm. That's just how it's going to go fit and mount to that chassis. And I have made my marks. This is the center point for that ball joint, and I've measured my 5.5 out. As I mentioned before, that spacing that I built that up on is to accommodate for that spacing right there. So now that we're here, I can remove this control arm, replace it with the heim joints at the proper measurements, and we'll build it with tube. Alright, so I've got my upper and lower control arms removed from the jigs, and now it's time to come back in here and triangulate the top section to reinforce that, as well as to come back in with some more bracing and reinforce these ball joint areas. Okay, I got those crossbars tack welded into place. As you can see, this upper tie bar right here, I have a bend in it, so this is going to allow me some space for some suspension to run through. Now the next thing we need to do on both of these control arms is come to this front section and box this in with some plate steel. I just drew up some quick templates. That's how they're going to fit in there, and that's the one for the lower control arm. Now I just need to transfer that over to some steel, and then we'll cut it out. All right, got them all fit up in there. That's the upper control arm, and there is the lower control arm. Now it's time to start fully welding. Went and pressed the ball joints in. All right, now that we got these all together and looking good, it's time to test fit them on the vehicle. All right, I just took the shock out. I've got the knuckle just kind of put in place. Now I'm going to try to see how smooth the operation of the suspension is. All right, so I've completed my control arms. I've went and assembled the left and right side, and I've added my shocks to both sides. At this point, I can say my front suspension is done. Now moving forward, I need to do more work on the chassis, building side pods and a roll cage portion over where I'm going to be sitting. So all that will be continued in my next video. You might want to hit subscribe right now, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.